Jones.
Anita Jones.
You'll never outwork me, I'ma outwork you. You say you got big dreams, time to show and prove. So you can make it off the elevator. That's right, like I made it off the elevator. You'll never outwork me, I'ma outwork you. You say you got big dreams, time to show and prove. So you can make it off the elevator. That's right, like I made it off the elevator.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Eat the Nugget Sundays. For those who are tuning in for the very first time and who has decided to be a part of my support system, because that's right, I have supporters, out there, people that support me and they get it, they understand, they know that they can come here and get some motivation, they know they can come here and learn something, and they can come here at Eat the Nugget Sundays and be inspired in some way, shape, fashion, or form. And so if you're tuning in for the very first time, my name is Anita Jones, and I am the CEO at Made It Off the Elevator LLC. Made It Off the Elevator LLC is a personal and professional development company where we specialize in motivation and inspiration and inspire people around the world. Here is where we motivate, penetrate hearts, and change lives. That's right. The goal is to tell my story to inspire people around the world, and to also bring in new information that can assist people in their personal and professional lives, to help people grow. That's right, that's what it's all about. It's about growth, and moving forward in life and becoming more of a mature adult. Here is where I mature myself, and I hope that the people that are watching get that same process. They go through that same process. They learn something and they can apply it to things that are happening in their lives, or share the information with people that they may know. And so I received a few questions from people who have been watching, and they asked me, what does Made It Off the Elevator mean? And so I grew up in the projects in Coney Island. I grew up in Mermaid houses, 2940 31st between Mermaid and Surf. And in that project, I had to ride the elevator. And I had to ride the elevator on a daily basis from the lobby to the 12th floor, because we lived on the 12th floor in Mermaid houses. And I made it off that elevator. People might say, well, what was wrong? Why did you feel the need to make it off? Well, for me, it's the projects, it's the hood. Let's face it. Let's be real about it. It's a lot of things that happen in the hood that was scary at times. It's the hood thing. It goes down in the hood. It really goes down in the hood. It's a lot of crime. It's a lot of drugs. I watch my mother. I watched my mom. My biological mom, be addicted to crack cocaine. I watched my mother's siblings, all of them, be addicted to crack cocaine. And so during the 90s, during the crack cocaine epidemic, it was rough, growing up in that kind of area. And so as a young girl, I knew that I wanted to be somebody, and I knew that I wanted to go somewhere, and I did not want to be a product of my environment. I did not. And so I made it off the elevator. I knew in order for me to become something and flourish and spread my wings like an eagle, that I had to make it off the elevator, and I did. And so that's where that concept was born. That's where it comes from. The fact that I made it off the elevator. And so when I was in deep thought about that concept about making it off the elevator, I thought about how can this idea, right, making it off the elevator, apply to people all around the world who has not ever ridden up on a project elevator. They may come from adverse environments, but they were not born and raised in the housing project. And so I came up with a universal definition, and it means made it off the elevator means to physically and or psychologically remove yourself from an environment that can immobilize you from pursuing your desires, your aspirations, and your dreams. I'll say that again. Made it off the elevator means to physically and or psychologically remove yourself from an environment that can possibly immobilize you from pursuing your desires, your aspirations, and your dreams. And so I removed myself from that environment and I decided to go on and do greater things in life that will make me a better person, so that one day when I have a family, I can teach them how to be better citizens in the world. And so that's what made it off the elevator means. Okay. And so for those who out there who struggle with the environment that they grew up in, because let's face it, we're born in this environment, so we have no control over that, but we do have control over our future, and we do hold the pen to our story. And so because of your circumstances, because you were born in a specific circumstance, should not be the reason why you do not go far in life, should not be the reason why you do not pursue those things that you want to do in life. In addition to that, to elaborating on what made it off the elevator means, today's topic is called help versus dependency. The reason why I thought it was important to talk about this is because I've learned that not only people from my environment feel as if they don't need anyone to help them, I learned that people outside, people in general, there are people in this world who feel like they don't need anyone to help them. But I want to specifically talk about the culture that I grew up in right now. And in my culture, I was taught, and you hear this a lot, you don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. I don't need nobody. I could do it on my own. I'm good. I don't need any help. I don't need anyone. And I realized that that is the wrong mindset to have. Because in order for you to get from point A to point B, from point B to point C in life, you are going to need someone in that process. I can guarantee you that it is almost impossible for one to get far in life without help from no other person, right? And so the unfortunate part about the people with this mentality is that they think that help is some sort of dependency. So for example, if I ask someone for help, this means that I'm dependent on that person. No, I'm here to clarify that for everyone. Dependency is completely different from asking for help. Dependency is that young teenager that depends on their parent to provide all of his or her needs. Okay? When you are 18 and below, you are a dependency. Your mom and your dad is your dependency. You are depending on someone to provide all of your basic needs. You are depending on them to help you learn how to talk English. You're depending on them to help you walk. You're depending on your mom and your dad to provide you clothes, food, and shelter, water. You're solely depending on these people because you're young and you don't have the means to provide for yourself. But once you reach a certain threshold, once you reach a certain age, you go from dependency to independency. You pass that threshold. And once you can honestly say, I am independent and I can provide for myself, then you have left that dependency area. There's no more need for you to depend on anyone, which is totally different from asking for help, right? So for example, as a college graduate, I struggled with academic writing. It wasn't easy for me. I'm going to say what Jay-Z said in one of his songs. Jay-Z said, I'm not a Harvard student. I just had the balls to do it, is what he said. And I'm going to say the same thing. I'm not a Harvard student. I just had the guts to do it. Slightly different, but same meaning. You know, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I knew I knew that being that I struggled with writing and that there was a writing resource center at my university, I knew if I utilized that center, that tutoring center for writing to help me with my writing, I knew that I can become a better writer over time. And so because I went inside of that tutoring center to ask for help with writing means that I'm depending on these people solely, like they're my dependency. No, they're not. It's a resource. It's a tutoring center. And I utilized it. I went and I said, can someone help me? Because I struggle with academic writing, right? And so in life, I just want everyone to leave with this nugget. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. And it is not equal to being dependent on anyone. And so I hope that you all got that nugget today. And I will be back next Sunday. I will see you all next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Outwork me, I'ma outwork you. You say you got big dreams, time to show and prove so you can make it off the elevator. Like I made it off the elevator.